Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with the starter, shall we? Can you please find 1/3 of 12 for me? Can you then do 1/3 multiplied by 12? Can you then do 12 multiplied by 1/3? And if 12 bars of chocolate cost £6, how much do 4 bars cost? Please pause the video and write these questions in your light blue books now, please. Right, let's go through the answers. So to find 1/3 of 12, we need to take our 12 and divide it by 3, which gives me 4. For the second question, I asked you to do 1/3 multiplied by 12. Now, when we were multiplying by integers, we needed to recognise that we can write 12 as 12 over 1. Having done this, we now need to multiply our numerators together. So 1 times 12 gives me 12, and then our denominators together. 3 times 1 gives me 3. I can simplify this by dividing top and bottom by 3, and that will give me 4 over 1, which we know is exactly the same as 4. For the next question, I asked you to find 12 times 1/3. Again, in the same way, we're going to write 12 as 12 over 1. We now need to multiply our numerators together. 12 times 1 gives me 12, and our denominators together. 1 times 3 gives me 3. We can simplify by dividing top and bottom by 3, which gives me 4 over 1. And we know that's exactly the same as 4. 4 divided by 1 is just 4. For the last question, I asked 12 bars of chocolate cost £6. How much do 4 bars cost? Well, if we know that 12 bars, here's my bar model. If we know that 6, splitting my bar into 12, One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We know that this whole bar is going to cost me £6. There it is. If I want to work out what the cost of 4 of them is, I know that I've got 1, 2, 3 lots of 4. So I need to divide my 6 by 3, £6 divided by 3 gives me £2. So we know that 4 bars is going to cost £2, because £2 plus £2 plus £2 gives me £6. Let's head into today's lesson. First of all, multiplication always makes numbers larger. Pause the video. Is this statement always true? Can you give an example where it is true? And can you give me an example where it isn't? Pause the video and have a little think and write down your answers in your light blue books now, please, Year 7. Right, let's go through the answers. Is this statement always true? Well, if I had a number like 10 times 5, that would give me 50. And yes, multiplication has made that number 10 larger. However, if I did 10 times a half, we know we can write 10 as 10 over 1. Multiply across the top, 10 times 1 gives me 10, 1 times 2 gives me 2, divide top and bottom by 2, and I'm left with 5 over 1, which is 5. So in this case, it hasn't worked. We started with 10, we multiplied by something, and we got a smaller number. So fractions is a great example where it isn't true. Start us off. I want to show a third of this bar. Here's my demonstration. Here's my bar. I can split it into 3 pieces horizontally, for example. 1, 2, 3, and as long as they're equal pieces, I then shade in one of those parts, like so. And I've shown a third of my bar. The other way I could have done it is I could have done it vertically, so from top to bottom. I could have split my bar into 3 equal pieces this way. And then as long as I shade in just one part of them, like so, I've shown a third. So there's 2 different ways I could split a bar to show a third. Over to you, Year 7, in your light blue books. Can you show me half of this bar here, and this bar here? This one I want you to split horizontally to show me a half and shade it in. And this one can you split vertically and show me a half? Pause the video and complete this in your light blue books now, please. Right, let's go through the answer. So to show it horizontally or crossways, I'd split it like this, and then I would just shade in this top part because I need 1/2. Alternatively, I could have done it vertically. As long as I've got the same size parts, I could have then shaded in one of those parts. And both of these diagrams show me a half of the bar. Over to you. In your light blue books, by splitting the top bar with a horizontal line and a cross line, can you show me a half? And then on the bottom bar, can you show me a quarter by splitting it with lines top to bottom? Pause the video and have a go at that in your light blue books now, please. Right, let's have a look at the answers. So to show a half, I would have split the bar acrossways and shaded in the top part. To show a quarter, I needed to split it top to bottom into 4 pieces and shade in one of those pieces. Let's use this to solve 1/2 multiplied by a quarter. If I drag this up and overlap the 2, where the shading overlaps, here, is our answer to 1/2 times a quarter. Let me show you that again. We had a half and we split it acrossways. We had a quarter, we split it top to bottom. Where the 2 shadings overlap, which is this top corner here, that gives us a half multiplied by a quarter. And now we've split this shape into 8 equal pieces. The overlap is one of them, so a half times a quarter is just 1/8. Let's have another go. In your light blue books, by shading a top bar, can you show me a half using a horizontal line? And then underneath it, can you draw me a bar? And using lines from top to bottom, can you show me a 1/5? Pause the video and complete that now, please. And hopefully your 2 bars will look something like this. Let's use these to work out what a half times a 1/5 is. Let's see where the shading overlaps. If I drag my 1/5 up, the overlap is just this section here. Let's see that again. Here's a half. Here's a fifth. The bit where the shading overlaps is this section here. We've now got a shape with 10 equal parts. We've got one bit which has been shaded twice. So a half times a fifth is just a tenth. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, here's one bar. By splitting the bar with horizontal lines, can you show me a third? And by splitting the bar with vertical lines, can you show me another third? And can you work out what the overlap might be? Pause the video and have a go at that in your light blue books now, please. So hopefully your diagram will look like this. You've split it into 3 horizontally and shaded the top part of that. You've split it into 3 vertically and shaded one part of that. The overlap is just one of those parts. We've now split our shape into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parts, and the overlap is 1 part. So a third times a third is 1/9. Let's have another go. In your light blue books, by splitting this bar with horizontal lines going across, can you show me a quarter? By splitting it vertically, top to bottom, can you show me a fifth? Shade each of those in and work out what the overlap might be. Pause the video and have a go at that now, please. And this is what your diagram should have looked like. For a quarter, we split it with horizontal lines. For a fifth, we split it into 5 using vertical lines. I've shaded in one section of my top bit, one section going top to bottom, and now I've got this bit here as my overlap. We've been left with our shape split into 20 sections this time, and the overlap is just one section. So 1/4 multiplied by a fifth gives me 1/20. Have another go, Year 7, it's getting trickier now. By splitting this bar with horizontal lines, can you shade in a quarter? By splitting it vertically, top to bottom, can you shade in 3/4? And then can you tell me what the overlap might be? Pause the video and have a go at that now, please. And here's the answer. I've split it into 4 horizontally. I've split it into 5 top to bottom. For 1/4, I've just shaded in one of those 4 parts. For 3/4, I've shaded in 3 of those top to bottom parts. And the overlap this time is 3 sections. 1, 2, 3. So overall, I've split my bar into 20 pieces. And this time, the overlap is 3 sections. So 1/4 times 3/5 is 3/20. One more go for me, Year 7. In your light blue books, by splitting the bar horizontally acrossways, can you shade in 3/4 of the shape? By splitting it vertically, top to bottom, can you shade in 3/5? And then can you work out what the overlap is? Pause the video for a couple of minutes and work that out now, please. And here's the answer. This time I've split it into 20 sections, and the overlap is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Sorry, that should be a 3. Over to you, Year 7. In your light blue books, can you have a go at these questions for me? Pause the video for 5 minutes or so. Have a go at these, drawing out using the bar model. So you need to split it horizontally or acrossways into a half, vertically into a quarter, shade in the half and a quarter, and write down the overlap for me. Pause the video and have a go at these questions now, please. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. Well done if you got the extension questions. So what exactly are we doing each time? Can you open your dark blue books for me and write the title Multiplying Fractions by Fractions? And then pens down, eyes on me, I'm going to go through an example and you're going to do an example. So each time all we're doing is we're multiplying our numerators together and our denominators together when we multiply fractions. So I need to multiply 2 times 1 for my example, which gives me 2 on the top, and 3 times 6 on the bottom, which gives me 18. And that's what we're doing when we're drawing these diagrams. We're multiplying our numerators and multiplying our denominators. I can simplify that by dividing top and bottom by 2, which will give me 1/9. Over to you, Year 7, in your dark blue books, by multiplying the numerators together and then the denominators together, can you work out 2/3 times 5/6 for me? Pause the video and have a go at that now, please. Let's go through the answer. So on the top of my fraction, I need 2 times 5, which gives me 10. On my bottom, I need 3 times 6, which gives me 18. If I divide top and bottom by 2, this gives me 5/9. Okay, Year 7, mini whiteboards. What's this one? Multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together. Right, let's go through it. On the top, I've got 1 times 1, which gives me 1. On the bottom, I've got 3 times 7, which gives me 21. So the answer I was looking for is D. How about now? What's changed? Let's go through it. On the top, I've got 1 times 2, which gives me 2. And on the bottom, I've got 3 times 7, which gives me 21. So the correct answer was B. So how about now? Pause the video, have a little think, work out your answer in your light blue book, or on your mini whiteboard if you've got one. Let's go through it. On the top, I've got 5 times 2, which gives me 10. And on the bottom, I've got 3 times 7, which gives me 21. So the correct answer was D. Okay, Year 7, in your light blue books, please can you pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions. Multiply the fractions and simplify your answer where possible. And these are the answers I was looking for. Please check your work and see how you did. And one final question for me. What is 3/5 times 7/8? Pause the video, have a little think. Okay, let's work it out. 3 times 7 gives me 21 on the top. 5 times 8 gives me 40 on the bottom. 21 over 40, the answer was A. And that's the end of today's lesson. Please head over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket. Thanks for listening, Year 7, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.